Good afternoon once again. My name is Jumoke Alaode James. It is our money, not her money, not his money. It is our money because, first and foremost, I believe that the man is the leader in the home. So her and her money belongs, into the house where the man leads. And then once you become husband and wife, it's a team. Two have become one. So there's no differential. You can't say this is, So it's our money. So as much as she may be the one bringing 95 or 99% of the income, it's the family income. There's no breadwinner.
Ooh, a round of applause for her. Wow. You've won yourself a gift. Come on, collect your gift. Wow, very, very nice. And are you part of us? No, you're not yet part of us. But you're already speaking like us. You see, that's what we want. Because in family systems, we believe so much in the family being a team. Players don't win, but the team wins. So you can't say, oh, I'm the wife, I'm doing so well, and then your husband is not doing so well, you're not helping. Do you understand? It's not about you winning, it's about the team, the family winning. And that's why we use the team formation, because we know a lot of people like football. All right? Okay, the next question will be taken by Zuriel, our play therapist. All right, Zuriel, what question are you going to ask?
I feel like giving somebody a gift without asking that question, without asking any question. I want to sow it into your life. God bless you, come. That's boldness. You go for it. You go for it. I said I feel like giving. You sat down and was raising your hand. What did he do? He came out for it. So you go for it. Thank you. Next question.
Asking a question, Zuriel. I'm suspecting you. Chidima, please come and ask a question. Come and ask the crowd a question. That's our principal. Oh yeah, Princey. You know you always deal with us during defense.
This is not defense, so we have to be, help them to win. So let's assume that a mother-in-law is causing some issues in the family. She comes unannounced, she does things, she doesn't obey the rules and anything. What would you advise such a couple to do, supposing that the mother-in-law who is causing this issue is the husband's mother?
Thank you. I'm Mrs. Shoneko. Good afternoon. Okay. For me, I would just advise the woman of the house to keep calm. Okay. I would advise the woman to keep calm, not to be confrontational, for her to reason with her husband. If they can reach a consensus within them and understand themselves, they will know how to handle the mother-in-law.
What would you advise the son? Remember, it's the husband's mother that is causing the issues. What will you tell the son to do in this particular case?
He can't really support the wife, neither can he go against his mother. He just had to find a way in between to make his wife reason with him, and at the same time understand the woman when they both understand themselves first.
Help her. Thank you, madam. Can we get a man? Madam, please come. A man. I need a man to talk about this.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Tunde Oladipupo from UNI Clinic. When you have such issues at times, the old woman has a weak point. You need to find out. Based on some handling some counseling case issues. Most of our grandmas, they are Mama Bonvita. So we advise the woman to find out what exactly do grandma love. Find a way to touch her heart. When you touch such a woman's heart, man, you already win her soul. And once you got that, she'll make your home beautiful for you. And that's the best thing. So on the man's case, you just advise, don't come in the middle. There's a place for your mother. There's a place for your wife. You dare not mix up the two. when you mix up the two, there's going to be what? Conflict. So let the wife play a role perfectly. Likewise, the woman, the old woman, you cannot send her out of our son's life because she's the one that nurtured the guy from childhood. The love is still there. Nothing is going to take that away from her. So the best thing is to tell the wife there's a soft place, soft point, and the life of that grandma. Look for it, then win her heart. That's
Please, let's
all.
clap for him. So I'll just round up the question with your gift, sir. The family systems engineering approach to this. In a case where a family member is coming to disrupt the peace of a home, we refer to such a person as a domestic terrorist. Yeah, because if we are saying that your family is a nation, so that means I'm talking from the background that you would have a governance system. That is part of what we teach in family systems engineering. You should have a governance system from your home that is embedded in your family constitution. Okay? So part of the systems that you should set in place is what we call the immigration system. There should be a way that people come into your home. There should be a way that the minimum number of stay before the person is inducted and introduced to the family constitution and all of that. So if you're going to have to be able to deal with interferences from extended family, interferences from in-laws, you need to be deliberate to set up your immigration system right. How many days is a family member expected to stay? What are our rules? Are they supposed to call us before coming? If the person comes unannounced, for how long do we entertain such a stay? And then you have your family constitution. What I do in my home, I have our family vision and all of that framed in every room, even in the visitors room. So some people are saying, oh, it's a new culture. How do I get them to do that? I do this as a conversation starter. So when you come to the visitors room, you see family vision and all that. You want to ask me, hey, what's this? Then I start the conversation. I don't have to say, Grandma, come in this house. There are rules and regulations. No. But you and your wife should take charge of your home as a nation. Set your governance system in place so that you will be able to protect your territorial borders from terrorists. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Very, very insightful. There was a lady before I went on the break. Please, can you step out? She wanted to ask a very profound question that I think we need to answer, and then we'll go ahead with the other questions. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I know during the program they talked about who takes the responsibilities of the finance, how the couple have to work as a team to get the dream work. But then we've talked about women might, they might be the one bringing in 95%, but they still have to submit, they still have to love, and then the husband working together, right? Teamwork. So there's this issue I think we have forgotten. What if this woman actually maybe she's the one bringing in 99%, and the man doesn't bring anything, or maybe what the man does is still waits for her to come back from work, a 5:30 a.m. to a 9 p.m. work, come back, still do the cooking, takes care of the children, pack the school bags for the next day, do all the cleaning and laundering, and she still makes sure that, okay, all the money goes into this central finance where the man is the one calling the shots. Is the one that says, oh, this is what I use this money for. This is what we do with this money. Even though the woman goes back to work and sees all the colleagues driving different kind of cars because, yes, they have the money to do such. But because there's this central finance where the man is the one that calls the shot and say, drive, just take a Marua to the office or something. So what should that kind of woman, if that kind of woman is here, I think there should be something, because I'm not sure the woman is going back home with something right now, because you're still telling her to contribute to a central finance, to work as a team. How will she address this man to make sure that the man actually comes around to do this thing together and not make her feel like she's in prison? Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure I'm not sure there's a teamwork in that marriage, from what you've said. It's a problem that I'm not sure is a marital problem. It was a premarital problem that was overlooked. One of my mentors says if it takes you more than 5 minutes to spot a fool, most likely you are a fool yourself. Right? That a man who is lazy did not become lazy in marriage. He must have been lazy before marriage. Right? So we say in family system that the 21st century love must not be blind. He must actually use the binoculars to see from afar. So family constitution is not what you do when you enter marriage. It's something you do before. Right? So in this case, we do not believe that someone should work and the other person should not work in family system engineering. We believe that every person in the nation, that's what we call family, who is fit mentally, physically, must generate money, no matter how small. So where someone begins, let me tell you, if one person is making all the money, he will be tired someday to say, why am I now raising an invalid as an adult? You have 2 hands, you have a mouth, you have a leg, and you say you can't walk. Excuse me, go and carry pong pong. You must do something. That's why we say that before you come to the marital table, you must come with value. What value are you going to? At least minimum requirement, be able to feed your mouth. Right? So where you now enter marriage and someone else is feeding you, you should be ashamed of yourself. Right? Now, if you are in that situation already, there is what to do. Now, we need to, and these are professional terminology which I can't break down here. We need to find out who the man is. We need to build a demo around him and say, how do we help him, because even if you are making money, right, what is he doing at home? Minimum requirement he should be doing at least is to clean the house, cook, take care of the children. That's minimum requirements in a nation. Even if you're on the welfare program of a nation, let's say UK, you are still expected to do something, at least babysit. Where you now say you can't babysit, then it means you are a burden on that nation. Then we need to begin to do something about your case. So you might want to look for who are the people he respects, who are the people he talks to, who are the people he, and we've had cases where the man is bringing in money, giving it to the woman, the woman is bringing in money, giving it to the man is squandering the money. Let me tell you, not every man can undo finance. That's why we say the most competent person, and I'll give you a practical example. Naturally, my mom is here. My mom calls me Father Christmas in my house. Why was I being called Father Christmas? Because when I see a problem that is financial, I will meet it. In fact, I can give you my last card and forget my own problem. When I got married, I carried it into marriage. So I was in charge of finance for the first 3 years. There's a miracle that was happening first 3 years. What was that miracle? Every December 31st, our finances reset itself to zero. It was a miracle. It happened every year for 3 years. I don't smoke, I don't womanize, I don't drink. I don't do lao. So what's happening? Then I realized that what was happening is this. People will call me from nowhere. I don't know them. Say, you came to speak somewhere. I'm in trouble. My school fees is almost, And I'll say, how much? 200K. Come to my office. I'll write a check. I thought I was God, solving all the human problem. I didn't know I was a man. Then, by year 3, we went to play a game. Deolu Akemi was there. He was my financial coach. We went to play a game, and in that game, Cash Flow 101, my wife was making better financial decisions. So that year, we say, let us hand over family finance to you. Guess what? That miracle stopped. So what my wife did was, she created a budget, and she placed me on allowance. Once I've exhausted my allowance, I cannot take extra. That's considered looting in my family. So, for me to spend extra, she will now ask, so what needs to go? Right? And that stopped. Now I realized, so there was a day I was in my mentor's office and we're talking, and a lady called me. Say, Mr. Praise, I'm a last student. They just increased our school fees. Hear the conversation. I say, yes. Now I become wiser. Now I'm becoming financially intelligent. That juju know they work again. She said, sir, they've increased it to 170,000. I said, how much do you have? She said, I have nothing. Said, so sir, won't you help me? I said, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I don't even have anything. He said, sir, can I suggest something? I said, what's the suggestion? He said, can you go and borrow the money on my behalf so that when you have, you can pay? Now that was when I realized that what was causing zero budget was unbudgeted expense that I was spending. You know, all these little things, someone comes in. So if you have planned your budget, right? I planned my budget for what I'm spending at work. I didn't plan for extra amount. If you show up as extra amount, is it that I give you my own food or nothing? So we need to be intentional, and that's why before marriage you need to agree. on how finance will be handled. If you have not done it premaritally, it's going to be tough in marriage. However, you need to get someone to walk with your husband, walk with you, and show him the vision of the future. That if this is not done, let me tell you, many people are driving their future now. You are driving a Jeep, right? And you are driving a Jeep that you don't need because you are keeping up with the Joneses, right? Many people, the way they are spending right now is guaranteed. When they are 60, 70, they will still look for a job. We do financial seminars and we ask people, how many of you spend more than you are earning? Hands go up. The deficit, where is it coming from? They say, we don't know how God is doing it. That's an irresponsible statement. It means you are borrowing from your future to service your present. Guaranteed at 70, you will still need to look for a job. So we need to embrace financial intelligence. That man is a lazy man, and we need to do something about him, or else he will crash that family.
Said, thank you very much. Praise. Okay, I'll take a couple of questions from here, and before we wrap it up. Now, this one has to do with children, because we've been talking about wife, husband, we have parents here. How do I deal with a 15-year-old boy who is fond of watching porn movies? That's one. Then number two, please, I would like to know the best approach to discipline a child that committed an offense that is intolerant and immoral without beating, caning, or shouting at him or her. And what kind of punishment should be administered to stop a possible reoccurrence? I'm so happy Mr. Akinlami walked right into this one.
Okay, I think that one of the most misunderstood concepts in our world today is child discipline. It's completely misunderstood. When you ask almost everybody in this hall about discipline, your mind goes straight to the child. The child is the least subject matter when it comes to child discipline. The child is a victim of your example. Simple. So this child was not born with any concept. When the child came to this world, he was ready to do anything. Rank zeros must have taught the world to copy. But children are the number one copier. They copy, they follow what you do. They don't do what you say. They follow what you do. So, for example, let's go back to our family constitution. In your family constitution, it must be stated, if you agree in your family that it's not good to shout on a child, then you must agree. What do we do to a father who shouts on a child? We must agree. You are the one that will drop children for the next 1 month if you shout, yes, in school. Madam will not join you. Mother will. So the child now understands that discipline is a way of life. It's not only something you do to a child. It's that all of us within the family, we have responsibility. But again, when I was growing up, right, my father said he was a disciplinarian. Let me do a disclaimer. He was not. He was not a wicked man, but he was not a disciplinarian. Who are the people you call disciplinarian? The people who can shout that when you are coming, your children disappear. That is not a disciplinarian. That's a terrorist. That your children cannot be who you or that they ought to be in your presence, and you say that you are a disciplinarian. That's very wrong. So when you are showing up, your children disappear. So your children cannot give expression. So I ask the question: if your child is watching a movie, let's say the movie is scheduled for the child to be watched, you just come in, you say, oh yeah, our room. We want to meet. I say, okay. When your own scheduled time comes, can the child also come in and say, oh yeah, mommy and dad, excuse me, me and my friend, we want to talk? If you cannot do that, then you can't do it to the child, because very soon the child will be thinking that in my dialect, that is, they will believe that you are old, you use it to cheat children. And that you are old does not mean you are superior. Please let me warn, in conclusion, that at adults, we don't know more than children. You know what, because the child knows what he should know. At that age, when you were working, you knew. Now, you know it will have been a fallacy, you will have been a retard, if all you know at this your age is what the child knows. So you cannot begin to claim superiority because you know something the child does not know. The child knows all he or she needs to know for his level. So what do? You don't look down on him or there. No, the child. So you are now abdicating your responsibility. Your responsibility is to direct the child so that the child can know what the child is supposed to know. I've never seen a situation except in Nigeria where a doctor begins to complain when they bring people into emergency ward. Why are you there? Say, Titunde, want to bring you there? No. You are in emergency. And you are complaining. It's only in Nigeria. When you go to general hospital, you will see it. Where doctors are complaining when they see emergency. So, I think we need to go back to this concept of child discipline, which goes to the root of our culture. Let me say, in child discipline, the child has only 3% of the responsibility. Parents, caregiver, both in schools, and they have 97% of the responsibility. So what is child discipline? The word discipline comes from the Latin word disciplinare, which is to teach, not to beat. That's why Abraham Lincoln says, how do you teach a child the way he should go? He said, you will go there first and come back and take the child with you. That's how to take the child. So where you have not gone, how do you take the child there? And where you have not sought to go because of your child, how do you take your child there? That's number one. Number two, why do we discipline children? Number two, we discipline a child to help a child to be conscious of his or her dignity of human person. That's the purpose of discipline. That is, discipline is that you are imbibing values in children. Is that not so? So that so that I can be a person of what? Is that not so? Is that not so? But if in the process of saying you are disciplining a child, you now abuse the child in the process, have you not taken away from the child what you say you are? Then number three, who can discipline a child? Somebody who has the same problem with the child cannot discipline the child now. He said there is a recession. He said we are going to now remove it from this school, put to another school. The child understands. But this your suya, you eat every night, you are still eating it. Daddy does not joke with night suya. And the boy is wondering, there is recession. I used to go to this school, I have left. Daddy has not. Hakilode. You must buy all the entire bouquet because you must watch your La Liga and all of those things. So it's only me that should leave school. Daddy is still paying 20-something thousand for full bouquet now. And we have a meeting. And we are saying that, so you can't treat a child, you can't help a child with the same problem you have. Then the last thing is that discipline begins with influence. When you go out, you come back. You say, yeah, it's okay, kilo shembe. The boys want, who is this stranger? Because the much that a child gives to you is the much of influence you have in the life of the child. If you are not of influence, how does the child know influence? In the day of sorrow, in the day where everybody gives up, the child can trace you to landmarks in his life. He can't trace you to any. The last time he didn't do well in inter-house sport, it was only the mother that was there, trying to console the boy. He came one day, Dada, what's your problem? Mosupu wo niyen, mo ti man sọ fún ẹ. The way you are going, Mosupu wo niyen, ni gbogbo o wa disgrace family wa, you didn't become first. And you don't come, you say the child does not know you. So let me now round up with this idea of let me round up with this idea of let me round up one idea. No, let me round up with that idea. No, let me round up with one idea. It's very important. This is the idea. The idea of you must gain children. Where did you learn it from? Our parents. Okay. So you say Oyinbo people have spoiled children because they don't gain them. I disagree with you. Oyinbo people don't spoil children. It's only that they have a higher value, a higher commitment to protecting children. Because they insist on those values, so most parents who cannot live up to those values, they throw their hands in the air and the children take advantage. But this, when you say a country is developed, what is developed? It's not the road. It's not the car. When you go to Manchester, there are buildings you won't see in Manchester. You see in Banana Island. The people in Banana Island build to satisfy the poverty of their personality. The people in Ireland build to satisfy purpose. That's why somebody can go and build a 50-room in Mina. Who is going to live there? But a man in Manchester will rather build a library that people can use. Is that not so? So you say that they are spoiled people. Spoiled people created this wristwatch. Spoiled people created microphone. Spoiled people created Facebook. Spoiled people created All of these things we are looking at. You that you are not, your own children are not spoiled. They go to school, they come out. All their prayer points on Sunday and on Friday is to be able to acquire the things that spoiled children created. Your testimony in church is that you feel first class. If you share testimony that you feel first class, what should the right brother share? If you share testimony, I'll see people who are going to church, come and be pouring anointing in a car. Is a car a testimony? Then tomorrow you must follow you to BRT. We also pour anointing there. Because it's a means of transportation. How can somebody be sharing testimony that he collected visa? I've traveled many times. Visa is, when you have what you are doing, visa is of course. So if that is what it means for children to be spoiled, I want my children to be spoiled like that. Spoiled like that, discover aeroplane. Spoiled like that, discover Facebook. Spoiled like that, doing great things. Then you now went to arraign children. You went to arraign children in court because you said they were trying to rape another child. When a school, who was the one that was in charge of the children, has gone to hire Mopo, knowing that that thing will happen, they don't have solution to it. They happen for many years. They now saw these children off from Falmouth to Norman Williams. When they got to Norman Williams, they left them to be going. There must be two reasons why the school left them with the Mopo. One, that maybe the school felt they were now safe. Number two, maybe the school now felt that, well, you're on your own. We have seen you off still to our own level. So these children now, you are now arraigning them. Now, in all this equation, we are going to try the children. We are not going to try the teachers, the schools who are aware that that practice is on and have not done anything about it in the last 15 years. You see the fallacy of our society. The children still feel victimized. The child needs help. Barack Obama experimented with India hemp growing up. He became the president of America at the age of 47. Now, how did he become president of America? Because of the disposition of the handlers. Our law does not prescribe trial for children. Our law prescribes what we call diversion, so that children can be diverted. But the challenge today is that, and please, if you have your children in private universities, I'm very sorry to say, we don't have private universities, you have gulags. Gulags, prison. The oldest person to have enrolled in Harvard is a 63-year-old man. 63-year-old man. You'll be telling him you can't have girlfriend. He can't smoke. What was all the training he can't use for? All the training we've given him when he was young. So in my university, Lagos State University, I went to school with grandfathers. Teachers can be coming, you finish your cigarette, you drop it. As long as you meet the level of, are you getting it? They will allow you to. Now, I'm not saying we should condone rubbish, but I'm saying that when are children going to be able to take decisions for themselves? When are they can't date in university. When you are making the rule, you met your own girlfriend in secondary school. You see the hypocrisy. And see, we need to, I've done a piece on my blog on this issue. We need to revisit this thing we call university education. Because the people university started with thinking, an integral part of society. That's why the word university is also the word Catholicism, which is universality. That's why they started with unprofessional courses that are not professional. I think I should stop because there's
Thank you very much. All right, we'll take the last question. Unfortunately, we can't take all these questions, but however, we're going to answer them and we're going to mail them to you and also put it up on our various social media platforms, including Facebook. I'm sorry, I can't take any more questions. We're pressed for time, please. Apology. What? Which question, please?
The child of 15 years old, whatever.
Okay.
I want to say something.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Sorry, wherever this parent is, I really feel for him. And I'd like to say at this point, it's not by beating that child. You have to sit that child down and ask him why he is watching that movie. There is a motivating factor. There is something, there's a reason why he feels he must watch it. So you have to know about connect with that level of consciousness in him. Hear him. Is it that he saw you watching it one day? Is it that his friends watch it? Is it that he was told that if he doesn't watch it, he's not a man? Understand why he's doing it. Then you now reason with him to see that this thing is not what it is really. It's not just the way it looks like. These people are on drugs, they do this. The reality of the process of making that thing.
let him realize it. And then you make him know that the impact of pornography on him goes beyond, he feels that he's just enjoying himself. Let him know that this thing affects his mental health. Pornography affects the mental health of the person that watches it. And if it continues for a long time, he's not able to do anything. It's just like you taking drugs. Let him see that. Then to discipline this child, how does he watch this pornography? Is it on the phone? Is it on the laptop? Is it on the iPad? You withdraw it. After you have discussed with that child and you see him or her doing it, withdraw that phone. Withdraw that iPad. By the time he sees that his school assignment that is internet, it's finding it difficult to do it. The Facebook account that he has, he cannot keep tab with it again. He will know that you have withdrawn something from him. And that gradually, and you as a parent, if you are watching pornography, you must stop. Because that child learns it. So I feel that that's why I feel I must say something about it, because that parent who wrote that thing really wants it.
Thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it.
Please, if your child is watching porn, you need to understand that a lot of children are watching porn. They are not just watching porn. The cases we've handled in the last 1 year in our office shows that ages 8-year-olds are not just watching porn, they are shooting their own porn now. Right? So, she said a few things, but several reasons can make a child do porn, and the child doesn't even understand why he's doing porn. So please, send your child to a child psychologist or a professional. Don't try to provide any solution by yourself. You will not know. You will turn your child to a lab rat, right? And you know the specimen never survives. You will create a bigger problem. So don't assume. Take your child. You can send your child to our office. You don't have money, you can show up on Thursdays. I think services on Thursdays are free, right? So we will get a child psychologist to work with your child. That's our service to humanity. We try to do everything for free on Thursday, right? So please get your child to see some, because there are so many things we need to analyze in there. And we also have discovered that children's first exposure to pornography is on their father's iPad. In almost all the cases we've worked with. So you have no right to flog your child for watching porn when your husband is actually the perpetrator. So please get someone who is professional enough to work with you on this, and we can resolve this issue. But don't beat a child for all those things. And please, I need to say this. For a child, there are expected behavior and there are bad behavior. There's a difference. How many of you have you flogged your child before, a 4-year-old, for spilling water? How many of you? Is that a bad behavior? It's an expected behavior. A school expelled a child, 2 children. They expelled them. They said they were nudists. How old were they? Ages 8. It was raining. The boys removed their clothes and started dancing inside the rain. They suspended them, so they called me. I said, no, you have no right. I said, are you aware that the only 2 children in your school were the ones you suspended? Because it's a normal behavior for a child of 8 to run inside. That's a normal child. Right? At 8, if you are conscious of what you are wearing, what you are not wearing, you are no longer a child. You've been traumatized. Something has been taken away from you. Right? So when the stakeholders, the educators, don't even know who a child is, who is not a child, then you have a bit of complication. But please, always use professionals. Please, don't assume. Yep.
Assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. All right, we need to wrap it up now. Let's call the communicate team to come and present the communicate to us. Anu and Kunle.
One thing, I just want us to commend Prince Fowowe and his team for putting this program together. Honestly, this is a movement. This is a movement, and you can see the selflessness in putting this together. The quality of resource that is here today is expensive. Are we together? But we have come in free. And that does not mean it is cheap. It's a lot of investment. So I want to implore us. I think the greatest gift you can give to the team and everybody that has been here today is to become a part of this movement where you go. We are tired of conferences that at the end of the day, it does not impugn on your behavior from the next minute. You have to make up your mind. What is that one thing that I want to change as I'm leaving this place now? As a legacy to this program. We shouldn't just go and it becomes business as usual. I want us to decide what exactly, that one thing that I would do different, so that today can become a permanent reference point in your own diary of change. That is our commitment. And so so the way you are going to be saying thank you to Praise for Warware and the entire team is to link your next level of revolutionary thinking to this kind of gathering. So I want to charge you, please, please, please go out there and become a messenger and become an ambassador of this message, understanding that we do not have a nation outside the family. And until the family is healed, then our nation cannot be healed. And the greatest gathering in this nation today is this gathering. And so I want us to understand all of that so we don't pay lip service to it. We begin to alter our belief little by little and begin to fight against the kind of belief that make you to do everything contrary to some of the things we are saying. And please, I want to beg you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Well, we want to just read the communique of this program. Out of everything that has been said from beginning till now, we draw up some key points that you need to still think about when you get home and even apply to your families and whoever is close to you. Maybe you have children, you have people you mentor, that you can think about it and effect in your day-to-day activities. So the first one is accountability of our rulers and leaders are key. How do we get our leaders to be accountable for the Commonwealth in their custody? We need to think about this. The second point, we must take responsibility and recognize that what we do today, the choices we make first as individuals and then as families and then as communities have consequence, and we shape the kind of institute we build. How do we build a lasting system? Fighting cultures and traditions that are repugnant to equity, justice, and good conscience. The third point, Agenda 2030, as was said by the UN representative, must be achieved. How do we achieve the 17 goals that countries have committed to achieve by 2030, which include targets on economic development, social inclusion, environmental protection? The fourth point, we have to go back to rework the family, get involved in advocacy to inform people, and actually help them re-engineer their own families to enthrone peace, love, understanding, cooperation, and social direction. The fifth point, gender equality. Every child should be treated equally and no preferential treatment for any gender. Change must start with us.
How to stem divorce. All things must be done in knowledge and not ignorance. Wholesome individuals bring out wholesomeness in relationships. Let's stop the stigmatization of mental illnesses. Know it, understand it. It can be managed just like hypertension and diabetes, because 1 in 4 people will suffer from a mental ailment. Social media. It must be used intentionally because it has become the real deal, while reality has become a distraction. Are you driving social media, or is social media driving you? One of the tragedies is that we think education is only schooling. We must formulate policies to the state government on family systems engineering. We don't have family problems or national problems. The only problem we have is a mismanaged childhood manifesting in adulthood. Your brother or sister is your covering cloth. Umbutu, I am because you are. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for that one. All right, without much further ado, we want to call it a day for this year's edition of the Africa Family Life Conference. A round of applause for ourselves, all of us, because without you, we couldn't have done this. A round of applause, a round of applause, a round of applause. And to take the vote of thanks, I want to call up Bridget Aleshe. A round of applause as she comes up. You people don't want it to end. You don't want to clap for her.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. It said that finishing well is more important than starting well. Though starting well is important, Today, history has been made with the African Family Life Delegate Conference. And as we live here, we must all make a decision to change something about our lives and families. After all we've heard, we must all know that decision making is a gift. Let's make decisions no matter what.